Hello, I'm Sakiz, and on this channel, we explore fictional technology horror stories that feel disturbingly close to reality. Tonight's story is about something we carry everywhere without a second thought, a key fob that unlocks our cars and homes. But what happens when that innocent device becomes a comprehensive surveillance tool, tracking every movement, learning every routine, and selling your entire life pattern to criminals who know exactly when you're vulnerable? This is the story of Jennifer Martinez, a cybersecurity expert who discovered that smart key fobs weren't just providing convenience, they were mapping millions of people's daily lives and selling that intelligence to burglars, stalkers, and anyone willing to pay for a complete profile of someone's routines and whereabouts. This story explores the terrifying possibility of our most mundane objects becoming betrayal devices, where the keys to our security become the keys to our surveillance. While completely fictional, it raises urgent questions about what everyday technology is tracking and who's buying maps of our daily lives. Are you ready to question what your key fob knows about you? Let's begin. Jennifer Martinez had worked in cybersecurity for 15 years, specializing in IoT device security and data privacy. In April 2024, she was contacted by the Seattle Police Department's robbery division about an unusual pattern they'd noticed. Detective James Rodriguez explained the situation: "We have 28 burglaries over the past 6 months. All targeted, all when homeowners weren't present, all with detailed knowledge of security systems. The burglars knew exactly when to strike and how to bypass alarms." "That suggests surveillance," Jennifer said. "Are there cameras showing suspects watching the homes?" "That's the thing, no surveillance detected. No one watching the houses, no pattern of reconnaissance. But the burglars had perfect information about routines. They knew when people left for work, when they went to the gym, when they took weekend trips." "How?" Jennifer reviewed the case files. The victims were diverse, different neighborhoods, different occupations, different security systems. But the burglars had demonstrated intimate knowledge of each victim's schedule and habits. "This level of intelligence usually requires weeks of physical surveillance," Jennifer noted. "But you're saying there's no evidence of that?" "None. It's like they had access to the victims' calendars somehow." Jennifer started investigating what the victims had in common. After extensive interviews, one pattern emerged: 23 of the 28 victims had recently purchased smart key fobs, devices that replaced traditional car keys and could also control smart home systems. 17 used TrackSafe. 4 used Secure Key. 2 used Life Key. All 3 brands marketed AI-powered convenience and smart lifestyle integration. Jennifer worked with Dr. Michael Chen, an IoT security researcher, and Detective Rodriguez to obtain the 3 smart key fob brands. They set up a comprehensive monitoring system to see what data the devices collected and where it went. What they discovered was invasive beyond anything they'd expected. "These aren't just key fobs," Dr. Chen explained, showing Jennifer the data streams. "They're comprehensive life tracking devices. The smart key fobs collected GPS location data continuously, not just when unlocking vehicles' movement patterns tracked 24/7 through accelerometer and gyroscope driving behavior analysis including speed, routes, and parking locations, home entry/exit timestamps, integration with smart home systems showing when security was armed/disarmed, Bluetooth proximity data showing what other devices were nearby, usage patterns revealing daily routines and schedule regularities." "This is surveillance-grade intelligence," Jennifer said. "Where is all this data going?" Dr. Chen traced the data transmissions. All 3 brands sent data to servers owned by LifeIntel Analytics, a company that marketed behavioral intelligence services. They accessed LifeIntel's customer database. What they found was shocking. Over 300 clients purchasing routine profile data, private investigation firms buying location tracking packages, insurance companies purchasing driving behavior data, marketing companies buying shopping pattern analysis, and most disturbing, anonymous buyers on encrypted networks purchasing complete lifestyle profiles with no identity verification. "They're selling everything," Jennifer said. "Complete maps of people's lives, when they're home, when they're away, where they go, what they do. This is a burglar's dream. Dr. Chen found the pricing structure. Basic location history, $50 per person per month complete routine profile, $500 per person real-time tracking access, $2,000 per person per month security system integration data, $1,000 extra. Someone could pay $3,500 and know everything about a target, where they are right now, when they'll be away, how to bypass their security, and when it's safe to strike, Jennifer concluded. Jennifer felt the familiar chill of a security vulnerability discovery. I need to examine these devices. Jennifer, Dr. Chen, and Detective Rodriguez investigated Life Intel Analytics. The company had been founded by Marcus Reed, a former private investigator who'd been previously sued for illegal surveillance. His business model was explicitly designed to monetize personal routine data while maintaining plausible deniability about how clients used the information. Internal documents showed Life Intel executives knew exactly what the data was being used for. Burglary planning, criminals purchasing profiles of wealthy targets stalking, buyers tracking ex-partners or targets of obsession. Corporate espionage, tracking business executives' movements, insurance fraud, staging accidents, when targets were in specific locations, identity theft, understanding routines to impersonate victims. One internal email stated, "We don't ask what clients do with the data. Liability is theirs. Our product is intelligence. How they use intelligence isn't our concern." Jennifer traced the scope. Life Intel had sold 8.7 million smart key fobs in the past 2 years. Potentially millions of people's daily lives were being tracked and sold. She worked with Detective Rodriguez to connect Life Intel data purchases to the 28 burglaries. All victims' routine profiles had been purchased 2 to 4 weeks before burglaries. Purchases came from the same encrypted account. Purchase included real-time tracking and security system data. Burglaries occurred during periods the profiles showed victims would be away. This isn't just data collection, Rodriguez said. This is criminal facilitation. They're enabling targeted crime. Jennifer found other victims beyond burglaries. A woman stalked by an ex who'd purchased her location data. A business executive targeted for kidnapping based on routine analysis. Multiple cases of home invasions timed using profile data. Insurance fraud schemes using purchase location information. The key fobs had created a marketplace where anyone's life could be mapped, tracked, and exploited, all sold as a legitimate, intelligence service. Jennifer worked with victims to document how their key fob data had been used against them. They compiled burglary reports showing criminals had perfect knowledge of routines, location data, purchases corresponding to stalking incidents, timeline correlations between data access and crimes, evidence that security system integration data enabled alarm bypass. David Morrison, a burglary victim, described his experience. They knew everything. They came exactly when I was at my daughter's soccer game, something I do every Saturday. They knew the alarm code from the smart home integration. They took specific items because they knew what I owned from location data showing where I shopped. My key fob gave them a complete blueprint of my life. A stalking victim, Sarah Chen, shared her terror. I thought I'd escaped him. New apartment, new job, new routines. But he found me everywhere because he bought my location data. My key fob betrayed me every single day. The thing meant to keep me safe made me vulnerable. Dr. Chen prepared technical documentation showing what data the key fobs collected, how they transmitted it, and where it was sold. They released everything to major media outlets with warnings about all Life Intel connected key fob brands. The response was explosive. Smart key fobs enabling burglaries, millions of daily routines sold to criminals. Your car keys are tracking you, how key fobs became surveillance devices. People across the country realized they'd been unwittingly mapped. I've been carrying a tracking device that sold my entire routine to anyone willing to pay. My key fob knows more about my life than my family does. And it's been selling that information. I was burglarized and they knew exactly when I'd be gone. Now I know how. Security experts condemned the practice as facilitating crime through surveillance capitalism. The FBI launched a major investigation into LifeIntel's role in multiple criminal cases. Class action lawsuits were filed representing 8.7 million users whose daily lives had been tracked and sold. Whistleblowers revealed internal communications showing LifeIntel executives knew their data was being used for criminal purposes but continued sales because plausible deniability protected us legally. Marcus Reed, CEO of LifeIntel Analytics, and 5 other executives were arrested on charges including conspiracy to commit burglary, stalking facilitation, unauthorized surveillance, and fraud. The trial became a landmark case in data privacy and criminal facilitation. These defendants didn't just collect data, the prosecutor stated. They created a criminal marketplace. They sold comprehensive intelligence on millions of people to anyone, including criminals, stalkers, and predators, with no verification, no oversight, no care about how that intelligence would be used. They enabled hundreds of crimes by providing criminals with everything they needed to target victims. Expert witnesses testified. Jennifer Martinez explained how the key FOB's data collection created comprehensive, life maps that could be weaponized. Dr. Chen demonstrated the scope of data collection, showing how much could be learned about someone from their key FOB alone. Detective Rodriguez testified about cases where purchased routine data had directly enabled burglaries and stalking. Security experts explained how the security system integration data essentially gave criminals alarm bypass instructions. Victims testified about the violation. David Morrison, they didn't just steal my possessions. They violated my life. Someone studied my routines, learned my patterns, knew when my family was vulnerable, all because my key fob sold my daily life. Sarah Chen, I was hunted using data from a device I trusted. Every time I unlocked my car, every time I came home, the key fob reported my location to someone who wanted to hurt me. Another victim, I feel violated in a way I can't fully explain. Someone I never met knew everything about my life, my routines, my habits, where I go, when I'm alone. They bought all of that for $3,500. The most emotional testimony came from a family whose mother had been home during a burglary that was supposed to happen when she was away. Her routine had changed unexpectedly, and she'd been traumatized by the home invasion. The defense tried to argue that LifeIntel was just a data broker and couldn't control how clients used information. But internal documents proved executives knew about criminal use and actively marketed to criminal networks. One sales email to an encrypted contact stated, "Our intelligence is perfect for your line of work. Complete routines, real-time tracking, security details. No questions asked." The jury convicted on all counts. Reed received 20 years in prison. Other executives received 10 to 16 years. LifeIntel was ordered to pay $9.4 billion in damages and permanently destroy all collected data. Key fob manufacturers were required to remove LifeIntel tracking technology and pay additional damages for enabling the surveillance. The scandal forced a complete re-evaluation of IoT device data collection and the responsibilities of data brokers. New federal regulations were enacted. Location and routine data classified as security sensitive, with criminal penalties for unauthorized sale, prohibition on selling comprehensive routine profiles without explicit consent, and identity-verified purchaser screening requirement that tracking devices disclose in real time what data is being collected and transmitted. Criminal liability for data brokers when their data is used in crimes. Right to deletion and verification of destruction for all location and routine data. Jennifer continued working in cybersecurity, now specializing in helping victims of data-enabled crimes and advocating for stronger IoT privacy protections. But the damage was widespread. Even with data deletion orders, the crimes committed using the data couldn't be undone. Burglaries where thieves had perfect intelligence about routine stalking, cases where victims never felt safe again, violated sense of security knowing someone had mapped every aspect of daily life. David Morrison described the lasting impact. "I can't shake the feeling of being watched. Every time I leave my house, I wonder if someone knows. Every routine I have feels like a vulnerability now. They stole more than property, they stole my sense of security in my own life patterns." Some victims developed hypervigilance and anxiety about establishing any predictable routines, fearing they could be tracked and exploited again. 2 years after the scandal, Jennifer Martinez spoke at a cybersecurity conference about the lessons of the smart key fob case. What Life Intel did, she explained, was monetize the predictability of human life. We're creatures of habit, we go to work at the same time, shop at familiar stores, follow routines. That predictability is comforting. But when it's tracked, mapped, and sold, it becomes vulnerability. She continued, the key fobs weren't just collecting data, they were creating perfect intelligence for anyone wanting to exploit someone. Location plus routine plus security system access equals a complete targeting package. Life Intel knew this and sold it anyway. The case highlighted dangerous aspects of surveillance capitalism. The assumption that all data can be collected and monetized, the willingness to sell sensitive information without verification of purchaser intent, the claiming of just being a platform while actively facilitating harm, the treating of human lives and routines as commodities. Every IoT device that tracks us, Jennifer told the audience, has the potential to become a betrayal device if that data is sold without safeguards. Your smart key, your fitness tracker, your home assistant, each one creating maps of your life that could be weaponized if profit matters more than protection. The survivors faced ongoing challenges. Even with compensation and new regulations, they'd experienced fundamental violations of security and privacy. I'll never feel fully safe again, one victim said. Knowing that someone studied my life so thoroughly, learned my vulnerabilities, waited for the perfect moment, that changes how you see the world. The trust is gone. The warning remains urgent, as everyday objects become smart and connected, each one potentially becomes a surveillance tool. The data they collect might seem innocuous, but aggregated and sold, it becomes comprehensive intelligence that can be used for harm. The lesson of the key fobs that tracked lives, Jennifer concluded, is that convenience and security are often opposites. Every device that makes life easier by learning your patterns is also creating a record that could be used against you. We must demand accountability: who has access to our routine data, how is it protected, and what happens if it's misused? Your daily life shouldn't be for sale to the highest bidder. This story is completely fictional. Life Intel analytics and the described surveillance key fobs do not exist. Current smart key fobs have varying data collection practices. However, the underlying concerns are real. IoT devices do collect location and usage data, data brokers do sell personal information, and the potential for routine data to enable crime is a genuine concern in cybersecurity and privacy law. This story is meant to encourage critical thinking about what data our everyday devices collect and the importance of understanding how that data could be misused if sold without proper safeguards. Your routines are yours, make sure they stay private. Thank you for watching.